Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Doctor Stone Season 3, Episode 6. So, last time we changed our plans from making a big old boat that can take everyone to a mini yacht designed by Ryusui. We had a little bit more backstory from him where he had kind of designed one before. They did some cool methods that allowed them to, it's the same thing that was used to make like the Nazca lines they talked about, where they were able to make like a small model and upscale it using like some mechanism. I can't remember what it was called. I apologize for that, but it was really neat to see that. And we sped run completed the boat, which is crazy, and they decided who was going to be on it and took off. So a lot happened in the last episode. Sorry about my throat. Um, and we left some people behind. Most of the people, I mean, we left like Rory, Mirai, some of the others, but most of the people that stayed behind weren't like main cast, right? Pretty much all like the big characters we regularly see in episodes, other than just like sometimes seeing them in the background, went. So, and the those somewhat background characters stayed behind. But yeah, they're going after the pod, which they showed us a glimpse of it, and apparently it's still around. How it lasted 3,700 years, my only theory is that it's made out of some kind of material that can last that long because it's supposed to be in space, right? But does that mean, like I was saying last episode, how I feel like there's got to be some structures or something on Earth that people have made with that, some kind of like some shelters that have been made with this crazy material, or something. Could that be why Y-Man is like has a facility that's still working, that can still broadcast and stuff? Is it because he had some kind of facility that he's maintained made out of that material? I don't know. But I look forward to seeing and maybe getting a more thorough explanation from Senku here. So let's get started, guys. We're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Alrighty. Such a... Even that is a pretty big ship, to be completely honest with you. A little bit of 3D there is cool, though. I'm perfectly okay with 3D being used for, like, vehicles and stuff. Just when it gets used for characters too often, that's when it gets a little wonky to me. I like the shot of it sailing, though. It's cool. Seeing some of the statues. Alright. I wonder if he could make a reverse of what happened, right? Like an energy beam that can release everyone versus turn everyone to stone. Yep. Hmm. So something in that pod is capable of releasing people? Interesting. Or repurposed, probably. Something repurposed. Alright. Oh, I just thought about how the sisters are separated, though. Tsukasa. These people. I really wonder who they're gonna be. I can't take that guy seriously with that hat. Like, it doesn't feel like he's gonna be like Y-Man, but I mean, unless whatever they get from this pod, maybe they just release more people, and those are some of them. That could be, right? Sorry for the squeaky chair. I really need to get a new chair one of these days. But yeah, maybe if this pod has something that can help them release people. Treasure box. Let's go. So this is several years after petrification, and this was when they were working on the song. Oh. Okay, so they had already made it. Oh wow, okay. No. That is a tiny child. Oh, so they had some of the science, yeah. I mean, it makes sense that astronauts would know some shit. Huh. Okay, cool. So this is how he knows about the treasure box, huh? Oh no. I'm so jealous. Alright. Are you ready? I mean, I guess it is, like, kind of the final words of his father, too, right? His father is the one that told those stories. Man, they're still telling the stories, huh? Number 8! They spent all night? Holy crap! Wow. That's insane. You have to remember those stories? Ah, Chrome! Yeah. Amber. He fell asleep. Sleeping in the treasure box. Oh, I wonder if the diamond is key. Hmm. Okay, so he needs platinum, not diamond. Wow. Damn, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard about this. Oh, are we close to that number? Just over 100. Yep, they're close to that number. Damn. That's pretty crazy to think about. Yeah. It's interesting that just going over 150 a little bit is bad, but releasing everyone is fine. I get it because you can have like different camps and stuff that aren't bigger than 150, but yeah, it might be the same thing that the song. Okay. Yeah. Nice. So they essentially turned the capsule into a time capsule. Who are you? Uh-oh. Who are you, ominous person that we don't know yet? He's talking again, though. Power team. This guy. Oh no. Oh. No name. Weird. No name. Why? Oh. What? How's that possible? What? What? How? Soyuz! Did the two people that left survive? I've talked about that before. Well, damn, they just kind of threw that character in there. I wonder if we've seen him around and just never knew, or... What were the names of, Dahlia and Yakov, right? They left to try to find medicine and never came back. Is it possible that they ended up back by the pod? Or did not everybody leave? Yep. So maybe some of their descendants stayed behind and didn't travel to Japan. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so some of the descendants stayed behind. Wow. I wonder what kind of technology they've developed. I doubt they're Y-Man, though, right? Yeah, there you go. They'd have the information to be able to make a radio. Maybe, if they're, like, closer descended, maybe? I didn't realize the dad came. Hmm. Cool. Oh, he was gonna try to set sail there. Damn. Vague memory of this. He was a baby, though. How would he know? Crazy that he knew his name, unless it was, like, written. Maybe I missed that detail, but... Because he was just a little baby. Cool. A few hours. Damn. Five-hour rocket lectures. Taiju's asleep. We have a veteran here. Nice. Cool, we're gonna get a tour. We'll probably be arriving for the island next episode, but... Oh, they have a greenhouse. That's awesome. Ah, okay. These tiny circles! Cool, I like this breakdown. The little shark, octopus, and everything. Uh-oh, yep. I figured some people would have to get seasick, makes sense. Oh, okay. Gonna make some, shoot. I can't remember the name of the medicine people use. Wow. Almost instantly feeling better, yeah. They have a land vehicle on board too. Oh, well. Oh, so are we... Yep, already in a storm. Jeez, that's scary. Uh. He's very confident in his vessel he's created. He's freaking out. Oh. Sneak up on him, yes. Great idea to sneak up on people as your first interaction. I guess they might not see them. Like, if they're just planning on spying a little bit, seeing what they're like. So, I'm curious, because we still have people in the opening, but they've been released from Stone. They have the markings. How do you remember that shit? So yeah, he just remembers shit from when he was a baby. Impressive. Congrats, dude. He's like, shoot, the guy from Promise Neverland. The kid. Alright, cool. That's awesome. I mean, just more people out there. The crazy thing is they're setting this up where people could be anywhere now. Like, enough time has passed. If some people stayed behind here and they grew, maybe some of them left in another direction, and there could be other land masses with these groups that have all originated from the astronauts and everything, which is pretty wild to think about. And I mean, humanity probably would have survived in some way or form with, you know, with these two groups. Like, eventually they could have branched out to the rest of the globe and everything. Like, eventually everything could have been rebuilt in a way it would have taken a lot longer if Senku never woke up, you know, but really interesting. But alright, so we had Senku who learned at least some of the tales. I don't know if he got all 100, but it turns out they're very long. They spent all night just to get the first 8 or 7, and then they started the 8th, which is pretty crazy. But in the tales was the treasure box, which is what they turned the capsule into, which is cool. So that is it, guys, for episode 6. But yeah, so 100 Tales revealed the idea of the treasure box, which has a bunch of like the ores and materials and stuff that they could find and salvage and stuff like that from where they were, all stored in the pod, which is able to survive because it was meant to survive space, exactly what I theorized. And there's platinum in there, which is needed to make a infinite revival fluid machine. Awesome. While we're talking about it, I want to talk about like the Dunbar number, which I've heard of. It's like I mean, they explained it. It's exactly what they said. I think there's also, I don't know if it's still considered the Dunbar number or if it's a different name for it, but there's also like the amount of people that you can like actually form connections to. And I think it's around 100 or something like that. So it's similar to the Dunbar's number. Or maybe it's like a spin-off version of it. But yeah, so they said 150 for a like little like group of people to be able to like work cohesively without falling apart. Which is interesting because I guess maybe like for small, like they said it was like mainly for military bodies, right? Like if you're more than 150, the squad will like fall apart, right? That's mainly what they were saying it for. But for like a village standpoint, like we have towns that are way more than 150 people, and we're fine in like today's society. But maybe in the past, when you're more reliant on a lot of people putting in work and everything to survive, that it makes that more difficult. But yeah, I know there is that other number. Like I said, I don't remember the exact name of it, but it's the amount of people that you can actively remember too, like and form relationships with. So it's really interesting, like how we come up with these numbers and how like societies can just crumble because there's just too many people, you know, that they can't work together properly. But yeah, so obviously the big thing is Soya's showing up as a character, kind of out of nowhere. I don't know. Maybe he was shown and I haven't seen him. I do sometimes dislike when they randomly just like it almost feels like they just wrote this character, but it's also very possible that I just didn't pay attention enough and he has been in the background a few times. But I don't remember ever seeing him like back at the like in season 1 when they did the grand bout and everyone was there watching. I don't remember ever seeing him, but anyway, like I said, maybe it was just me not focused on just because I wasn't focused on really many of the characters that weren't a part of the main group, you know. A lot of the villagers I didn't necessarily pay much attention to in like the background and in the crowds and everything. So maybe he was there, but yeah, it does kind of feel out of the blue, and especially him like being on the ship and then not even really knowing who he is. That also feels a little strange. Like it does. I love the show and it's silly and it's goofy at times, so I don't take it too seriously. So it doesn't ruin the show or anything for me feeling like it comes out of nowhere, right? But and I accept that I could have made a mistake too because I do make a lot of mistakes. But yeah, so he left here, right? And from his memory, it looks like he left here with someone, like with potentially his mom, but then just the baby showed up. So I wonder if something happened to the mom. Did he say what happened? Where I kind of want to just hear his story again. Let's see. Shoot. Okay, let's see. When I was little, the villagers found me washed up on the shore and took pity on me. Yep. My adoptive mother had to lie about me to raise me. Okay. My real name would be out of place in this village, so I lived here without a name my whole life, yeah. And I noticed, like, on the shield, there's, like, the rocket. Yep, his name's Soya's, hopefully that treasure and everything is still there and it hasn't been, like, opened by the people there. Alright. So he didn't really say anything about the person that because he could remember the... He could remember the, yeah, they kind of just talk about the people being there and they explain the reasoning and stuff, but I don't think they really say who he left with, because it was the one shot when they started getting closer, right? Where was it? Right about here? Yeah, any second now it should flash back. Yeah, the person had, like, the shield and they were, like, on the boat leaving, so someone went with him. Something must have happened to their boat on the journey there, and I guess put him in that little thing that he showed up in, and it just really lucked out. Actually, was that the shield? That wasn't the shield that he was in, right? That'd be pretty crazy if it was, but I think that thing was deeper than the shield would have been. But yeah, so that's pretty crazy that he happened to land on the part where the people from the village, like, it's really lucky that he didn't die. He's gotta be, like, very grateful that he survived, because depending on how close they were to Ishigami Village, by the time their ship, like, whatever happened to her, they dropped him off and he washed up on shore somewhere where those people would find him before he died to, like, the elements and everything. Pretty wild circumstances, so, but yeah, either way, regardless of who that is, I imagine it's his mom or something, but yeah, so descendants of it, I mean, and it makes sense. They even did the same thing here, where you don't put all your eggs in one basket, as they say, right? So it was a dangerous trip to get from the Treasure Island to Japan, which is where the Hundred Tales said they should aim to try to go eventually. So they probably had, like, groups of people that tried and failed and stuff like that, so they didn't send everyone at once. And it makes sense that the Ishigami people probably made it there, but couldn't make it back, right? Kind of, which I wonder if that could be teasing Yakov and Dahlia at all, like, going somewhere that you can't return from. It's kind of setting up the idea that maybe they went somewhere to try to get medicine and couldn't return. Granted, that was 3,700 years ago. They would have had to have had kids. It would be an Adam and Eve situation where people talk about, like, well, Adam and Eve, like, if they have kids and then their kids have kids, that would be incest, right? So if there is a society built off of just Yakov and Dahlia, then that would be kind of, like, weird to think about. But either way, that's just a side point I want to talk about. Like, the main thing that happened is we know now that there is a group of, unless they somehow died off or something, there is a group of people other than Ishigami Village out there, and as I said before, it's possible there are other groups if they sent more people out in other directions or something over the years. I wonder how they've developed, because, like, societies develop differently. Like, maybe they did a better, like, because Ishigami Village, like, just survived off fish and a little bit of hunting they could do. they didn't really have any kind of agriculture or anything. Like, what if these guys did better with the agriculture? Do they still have the 100 tails, or was that passed down to, like, was that passed down to several people, and just the priestesses for the Ishigami village are the ones that remember it for Ishigami village, but maybe they also have the 100 tails here as well? Like, it could be interesting to... It's too bad Rory isn't here, actually, because if there is two different versions, because you got to imagine that they don't get every detail 100% accurate, right? I imagine. With the 100 tails, like, when you start passing it down, I imagine there's some changes that get made because of lack of remembering properly and whatnot. So they probably slightly alter. It could be interesting to have, like, a comparison of the 100 tails that Rory knows and the 100 tails that these people know, right? It could be quite a bit different because of, like, bad storytelling over the years that have twisted and turned it in various ways. But yeah, very interested to see what these people are like, what kind of technological advancement they have. I feel like they're not going to be the Y-Man people. I'm also curious, like, I was thinking, oh, maybe these are the people from the opening, but the people in the opening have the marks, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's spoilers to go look. But they have the marks, I believe. Maybe they don't? I could be wrong, actually. No, I think they're on her forehead, right? The girl, I think they're on her forehead, unless that's, like, makeup or something, and not breakout of stone marks. But then the guy, he has the same thing, so maybe it's a design of their people? Huh. Maybe they're not broken out. What about the chef-looking guy? He also has some lines going up from his eyes. But maybe that's not the break out of stone lines. Maybe that's just a form of, like, makeup or something that their people, like, have used. It's like their style. So maybe the three people from this opening could be actually just residents of this village. I don't know. I'm really curious to learn of them and stuff, so that's gonna be pretty cool. Hopefully, I hope they're not gonna be, like, straight up evil. They're probably gonna be defensive at first, right? Because, like, random people coming out of nowhere in this massive-ass crazy ship, if they're not, like, sophisticated technology at all, they're gonna be like, what the hell is this thing that's, like approaching us, right? So I can imagine them being more defensive, maybe slightly antagonistic at first, but I hope we do manage to befriend them and be like, hey, we're your ancestors that left here a while ago to, and, like, some of us have broken out of stone, and kind of, like, tell their story and get them, like, on board and stuff. Could be interesting to have a whole nother settlement out there, and then Senku could extend their technology to them, right? Like, try to teach them some of their ways, like agriculture and some things that could be very useful to them, so that way they can, survive. And I mean, they've survived this long, but maybe thrive more than they have. Maybe I don't know if they have the materials to make another phone, but if we could set up, like, phone lines between these places, we could have different contact and and be able to converse with them and stuff. I don't know. Just I hope it goes... I don't want, like, another Tsukasa situation where we have, like, the rest of the season is us trying to, like, fight these people to get to the treasure box, right? And, like, in going to war. I know they're, like, if that is them in the opening, if it is those three and whoever else, I imagine, maybe that's just, like, three of the main people from this village. If that is even them. But regardless, they look antagonistic in the opening, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're antagonistic, right? So, yeah, I really want to know. I'm excited to watch more. This was a good episode, though, for what it was. Like, we learned a lot of things. It was kind of a bottle-ish episode where we toured the ship a little bit. We we spent a lot of time just talking on the ship of, like, what do we need from this, treasure box that we're looking for? And then we had the whole Soyuz thing, and so it was like pretty much all took place in that room mostly, but I still very much enjoyed it. It was very exciting to learn that there's more people out there, and that sets the stage that there could be people anywhere at this point, 3,700 years later. Like, I wonder how long ago it was that the people of Ishigami Village reached Ichigami Village. It was long enough ago that, like, or I guess reached Japan and formed it, right? It was long enough ago that they don't even remember, like, there's not even stories anymore of the people they left behind, right? You would think there'd be stories of, like, yeah, half our civilization split, half of us came here, half of us stayed behind. You would think there'd be, like, stories of that, but maybe it's just been so long that there's not even stories of that anymore. Just people started talking about it less and less, and then eventually it was just entirely forgotten over the generations. It's just really interesting. It was nice to see the a little bit more Byakuya and the space crew again, and seeing them set up this thing. I wonder, like, how many more after this. I wonder if there could even be any more little treasures or secrets that could come from the space crew, right? Because we originally had the reveal that they even existed and came down from space, and then we had the 100 Tales, which I guess that was kind of like mixed in with both, right? And then we had, like, the music they left behind, like, and everything. And now we have this treasure box, so it's like, is this going to be the last thing? Because this is like the pod they came down. This is going to be the island they were on. It's like, I don't know that there's too much more they could do with that, with them, like, leaving secrets, right? So this might be the last secret from his father, but unless there's, like, some kind of message. He only learned, like, we only saw him learn a few of the tales, right? I don't know if they did go through all 100 with him, but it's possible that there could be another, like, secret message or hidden information somewhere in there, but I don't know what it would be, right? Because we already kind of have, like, a lot of the information that we saw them learn, unless they just, like, learn something else that has to do with, like, the petrification or something that just hasn't been revealed to us yet. But either way, we might be nearing the end of Byakuya's information. So sad. But yeah, I'm excited. I think that's going to be it from me, guys. I just want to watch the next one and see them reach these people and see what they're like and see how we hopefully befriend them and not take too much time fighting them if we fight them at all. But yeah, thank you, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more. Link is in the description below. It should be popping up on the screen. And I will see you guys in my future reactions. Bye-bye.